Mandali Upper Basic and Kalaji Junior and Senior Secondary School, a GPA-funded scheme. The first leg of the tour finally capped off with visits to Sibanor Lower Basic School, St. Edward's and St. John Vianney Upper Basic Schools respectively. Jassy Junior and Senior Secondary School, though blessed with a modern state-of-the-art wood and metal workshop, is faced with the problem of electricity, a situation that lawmakers noted. The Select Committee, though generally impressed with the service delivery of most institutions visited, still believe a lot more could be done to improve standards.
And basically, all the schools are doing well. Of course, some of the schools are missing, some of the elements. But then we've given them our own recommendations, and I'm sure that the implementations will be implemented.
The talk continues in Region 1, KMC and Banjul. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
The Gambia is set to become the first country to host the International Fund for Agricultural Development Forum, which brings together 112 development practitioners from West and Central Africa. Our Babakar Senghor previews the four-day convergence, which is scheduled to kick off in Banjul on Monday, the 12th November 2012.
Funds for the High-Level Efforts Forum will focus on the organization's operations in West and Central Africa, based on the theme, Results-Based Management for Sustaining Poverty Reduction, Lessons Learned and Challenges. The International Fund for Agricultural Development works with rural communities to help them channel their own means of improving their lives through viable income-generating measures.
The annual event is a very important part of West and Central Africa strategy to promote collaboration among participating stakeholders to continuously improve the performance of projects and grants in terms of relevance, efficiency and quality. It is also an important knowledge sharing occasion which enables IFAR staff, project teams and partners from the region to get together and exchange experiences and share knowledge.
The Banjul conference is expected to draw 250 development practitioners from various sectors in agricultural development.
We are expecting more than 250 participants from the whole region of West and Central Africa. There will be government representatives, project coordinators, IFAD staff from the headquarters, and also development agencies, as well as the civil society and farmers organizations.
With agriculture serving as the mainstay of the economies of many West and Central African countries, the forthcoming four-day convergence is expected to provide participants some insight into critical steps towards stimulating growth in the sector. The IFAD-funded forum is the first time a government is taking a lead role in organizing such a convergence. It is a test officials of the Ministry of Agriculture are hopeful of undertaking and in the process deliver with the right note of success. GRTS News is Babakar Senghor.
We'll be back with more stories after this break. Welcome back. Rescuers are winding down their operations to save more lives in Ghana's shopping mall accident. 75 people have been pulled alive out of the collapsed 6-story building, with 10 people confirmed dead, and South Africa and Uganda have agreed to share new economic defense and environmental experiences after the two countries signed a new pact. We have details of those stories and others in this news roundup.
In Burundi, an appeal court is upholding a life sentence handed to a radio journalist Hassan Ruvakuki, who works for the French radio station RFI. Ruvakuki and 22 co-accused were tried for planning an attack on the Cankuzo province of neighboring Tanzania that left dozens dead. Ruvakuki's lawyers say that the journalists simply covered the attack. In Ghana, rescuers at the site of a collapsed 6-story mall in Accra are running out of hope of saving any more victims. 75 people were pulled from the rubble alive and 10 people are confirmed dead. The 6-story building was opened earlier this year without a building permit. According to eyewitness reports, there were visible cracks in the construction. South Africa and Uganda have made a series of wide-sweeping agreements to strengthen their links. The agreements concern the environment, defence, tourism and education. Thanks to these new partnership accords, security and economic links will be reinforced in the Great Lakes region. In South Africa, a Thai national who pleaded guilty to running bogus rhino hunts as cover to sell horns on the black market was sentenced to 40 years in a South African jail. Chamlong Lem Tongtai received the unusually harsh sentence from a Johannesburg magistrate court amid a record number of rhino killings this year. 26 rhino horns were sold in Asia for medical use for €50,000 a kilo.
America's military and intelligence community is in shock over this one, the sudden resignation of CIA Director David Petraeus. He quit after admitting to an extramarital affair after it was uncovered by the FBI. Petraeus is best known as one of America's most decorated military leaders. CNN's Pentagon correspondent Chris Lawrence has more on the abrupt end of a storied career.
By the time David Petraeus got his first taste of real combat, he was a 50-year-old Major General. In 2003, he commanded the 101st Airborne during its march on Baghdad. It was in Iraq that he rhetorically asked a reporter, "Tell me how this ends," suggesting trouble the U.S. would have there in later years. There he gained the nickname King David, used affectionately by his supporters and derisively by those who labeled him a celebrity general. In 2007, President Bush appointed Petraeus to lead all troops in Iraq. Petraeus essentially rewrote the Army Field Manual, and his ideas on counterinsurgency became known as the Petraeus Doctrine. A scandal of a different sort brought Petraeus back to command another war. When President Obama fired General Stanley McChrystal for his unflattering comments to Rolling Stone, Obama tapped General Petraeus as the man to save the Afghan war effort.
It has again been the greatest of honors to serve here.
But because of his name recognition among the American people, Petraeus was surrounded by speculation that he had political ambitions. Some wondered if he'd appear on the Republican presidential ticket, but Petraeus knocked down those rumors.
We're not out there running a political campaign, we're running a war.
At his Senate confirmation hearing to head the CIA, Petraeus admitted President Obama decided to withdraw thousands of troops from Afghanistan significantly faster than Petraeus wanted.
The ultimate decision was a more aggressive formulation, if you will, in terms of the timeline than what we had recommended.
Petraeus' wife, Holly, sat behind him during that testimony, and Petraeus publicly praised her.
She is a symbol of the strength and dedication of families around the globe who wait at home for their loved ones while they're engaged in critical work in Afghanistan, Iraq, and elsewhere. She has hung tough while I've been deployed for over 5.5 years since 9/11.
The chairwoman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Senator Dianne Feinstein, called Petraeus' resignation tragic and said she wished President Obama had not accepted it. We've been told that President Obama was opposed to allowing David Petraeus to resign, but Petraeus insisted, saying he felt it was something he had to do. Chris Lawrence, CNN, The Pentagon.
The United Nations says 11,000 Syrian refugees poured into countries from Thursday into Friday. That is a 24-hour record, and as CNN's Ivan Watson reports, the refugee problem is not the only way the war is bleeding into Turkey.
The war in Syria is spilling across the border into Turkey. Nervous Turkish soldiers take cover on Friday as gun battles rage just across the frontier between rebels and Syrian government troops. Here, armed Syrian rebels operate just a few hundred yards away from Turkish border guards. This battle on the border has sent hordes of Syrians fleeing to Turkey. More than 8,000 refugees entered, the Turkish government says, in a single day.